Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of BS Drunk Movie Reviews. This is a weekly podcast, and we do upload the video version of this to our YouTube channel, so be sure to check us out there. My name is Matt, and as always, I'm being joined by my sister, Vetta.
Hi, guys.
Hey, how you doing? And on this episode, we are keeping up with our theme of Halloween and spooky, scary, and everything, but we are going to be doing the movie Cobweb. And sorry, I totally was about to say web cob, and I'm like, that's not a thing. So sorry, I have been drinking before we
Alcohol
started
do
this.
that.
Yeah, I started I started in my pregame. Anyways, so Vetta, before we get started on this delicious movie, I have to ask you the most important question, and that is, what are you drinking?
I'm drinking a spiderweb cocktail.
Set your face. I'm drinking a spiderweb cocktail. You asshole. You copied me. You copied
I
me.
snuck into your house and copied you. The only thing I didn't do was I didn't make the black gel spider
Yeah, I
web
didn't do
on
that.
top because
Yeah.
I didn't have any. So I had
We
red,
had
but I was like, red would look weird.
Yeah, we had some, but I was like, I don't feel like making this. I don't need the spider web on this. I just need the alcohol and everything.
Right?
So,
Oh, and it's
so
good.
it's so good. I was like, I was like, I don't know. I don't like putting cream in my stuff, but then I like tasted. I was like, oh, this is so good. This is good.
Yeah.
It
I'm
tastes
like,
like candy.
yeah, if anyone, if you don't agree with us on the movie reviews, the least you should do is try the drinks
The
that
drinks
we
for
do,
sure.
because seriously, that's sometimes we get some real delicious ones like
Right
this
on.
one here.
You want to tell everybody what's in this one?
So this one has obviously cream in it, coffee liqueur, and
Mhm.
vodka. What
And
more
vodka.
do you need?
Now I changed mine up a little bit and I did vanilla vodka because I love it. And then I threw in some Kahlua.
Oh, see, and mine's a little different because I have like the little pump coffee flavors,
Oh, yeah, those are delicious. I know
Yeah,
exactly
so
what you're talking about. Yeah.
I added a little bit of coconut in mine. So
Ooh, yeah.
yeah.
I think anything to spice up your drink is always a good thing, but it's
I mean,
delicious.
it was delicious even
Yeah.
without that. And then I got to thinking, I was like, ooh, what if you made it
Hmm.
with like real coffee or.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
then I was like, no, why would you change up coffee liqueur?
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, I just went to the coffee pot and was like, oh, the little coffee area was like,
Right on. Yeah. No, I get it. I get it.
oh,
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Okay. So, Betta, had you seen this movie before?
I hadn't even heard of it.
Oh, okay, gotcha. I had heard about it and I'd seen the trailer and everything, but I hadn't seen it. I mean, I did see it when it first came out on digital, but now that we're watching it, I rewatched and everything. Overall, what'd you think of the movie?
I liked it.
Me too. I thought it was super fun. Like I was
It was
like,
super fun. I mean, I have questions, but it was
I have
super fun.
questions too.
Oh
Okay.
yeah. And I was like, I'm not gonna lie, guys. It's $5.99. No matter right now, it ain't free anywhere. So
Right.
you got to either go download
Yeah.
not
R.
legal movie.
R.
Yeah,
You got to sail
I
those seven
don't
seas.
I don't recommend it because it is theft.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't do it. It's
Otherwise, no. Go ahead.
no. I was just gonna say it's only $6. That's like nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Otherwise, on whatever other streaming platform you go for, it's $5.99. Nobody's any cheaper.
Yeah, yeah, it's only $6. It's really not that
And if
expensive.
you
Like,
if you're all about buying movies rather than renting them, I think it's only $14.99 to purchase it.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I bought it, so I didn't rent it. I bought it. So okay. So this movie, okay. So overall, I'm gonna go over what this movie is about. And then I want to just talk about it with you because I have questions also and thoughts.
So many
So this
questions.
movie is about this little boy. His name is Peter. I remembered that much. I don't remember his parents' name, but so don't ask me. So
I
he is
remember the teacher's name.
okay. So what's her name? Wasn't it?
It's
Oh,
Divine.
Mr. That's why, because I was like, it sounds like a stripper name or a drag queen name, Miss Divine. I'm also like, she's a hooker for real. Okay, so okay, Miss Divine. I'm so happy that you remembered that. Oh, that's so good. Okay, so he's this little boy. I don't remember how old he is, but he's picked on at school. He's obviously shy, and his parents are fucking weird. So his mom like basically has keys to their house, which she locks on the daily. And then I don't know what his dad does, but they're just really weird. And then so at night he goes to sleep and he starts hearing knocking on his wall. And his parents are like, "Oh, you're imagining it and everything." And then he starts hearing a girl talk to him.
Yes.
And now that throughout this movie, I have to be honest. At first, I was like, he's imagining it because I was like, you know, until he looked in that hole and he saw the eye, then I was like, never mind, he's not imagining it. He's not imagining it. There's an eye in there. There's a person. What were your thoughts with the girl behind the wall? Because I don't know about you, I was getting people under the stairs vibes, like hardcore.
Oh, no, no, no. I thought it was the little girl that went missing down the
Oh,
street
oh my God.
because
Yeah,
he
go ahead.
didn't start hearing her until after the parents said, because he went to school that first day and they were talking about Halloween, and he went home and goes, what am I going to be? And the parents are, we don't believe in trick-or-treating because kids get kidnapped. And they told him the story about the little girl down the road. I thought it was the little girl.
I have to agree. I did too. I thought it was the little girl, and they were just like, but I got people under the stairs vibes because she lived in the walls and she was like knocking on it and everything. So I also, you know, I now I want to talk about this kid Peter because I kind of felt bad for him because in my opinion, this whole time, I felt like he was the victim in a sense that he was taken advantage of in every way, shape, and form.
By everyone.
By everyone.
There wasn't anyone in this movie that didn't have a piece of Peter.
Oh my gosh, right? But I did feel like okay, so my favorite part of this movie, and it's so bad, is when he got revenge on that little boy that smashed his pumpkin. I was like, Peter worked on that pumpkin and he just smashed it. Wait, what'd you say?
It was a cute pumpkin.
Yeah.
Such a nice job.
Yeah, and Miss Divine praised him for it. And that other little kid, I don't remember that little kid's name.
Brian.
Okay, Brian. Yeah, he was just a little asshole. And he was like all jealous of his pumpkin. I'm like, oh, get out of here, Brian. It's just a pumpkin. So he smashed it. And then he pushed Brian down the stairs and broke his leg like hardcore. And I was like, that's what you get, Brian.
I feel for Brian.
I laughed so
laying there screaming. I was laughing.
I was too. Yeah, I was like, fuck you, Brian. I was like, you deserve that, Brian. Like, no joke. Like, but it also
Karma, she's a bitch and she just broke your leg.
Right on. It also reminded me of that one movie that we watched where what was it? Z. Yeah. Where Z threw that little kid off the balcony of his own house and he like hit the stairs. It reminded me of that. It wasn't as good though, because that kid like wasn't like, ow, and everything. Like Brian was a total pussy. He was like, ah. And I was like,
right. Brian was a whiny bitch.
Like, what a little bitch. Okay. So, okay.
And his friend wasn't much better. His friend just went screaming like,
oh, yeah.
End of the world. Help.
Okay. So, I want to talk.
Expelled him in the real world. I don't think they would have expelled him.
I don't think so either,
because he can pull out the bully card. Because he was bullied. And in this movie, they didn't. He had a perfect record. He'd never done anything wrong. He was a good student. And in this movie, they went straight to expulsion. I'm like, I don't think that's how that works.
Yeah, and I was all like, in my opinion, it was self-defense. I'm sorry. Like when it's when you're in the prison yard, you got to find the biggest bitch and make a name for yourself. So that's what he was doing. Peter was just he was all like, hey, you saw what I did to Brian, fuckers, come at me now, bitch. and then
the next Brian.
And then what he does to his parents, I'm like, Peter's hardcore. Like I'm like, I'm not fucking with Peter and I'm an adult. Anyways, okay, so I want to, if you're okay, I will come back to Peter obviously throughout this entire conversation, but I want to talk about the parents if you're cool with that.
The mom was Carol. I still don't remember the dad's name. I'm trying really
hard. I just remember it was it's played by Anthony Starr and I love him. I don't remember his name either. So we'll just call him Anthony Starr.
He's a cutie.
He's so hot. He's so hot. So first off, what terrible parents. These are terrible parents, okay?
Horrible
parents. So I did but I did like how the dad tried to incorporate him in there when they were gonna go kill those like moles or whatever it was, the rats.
Okay, first of all, can we pause? They don't believe in trick-or-treating, but why do they have 20 million pumpkins in their backyard? They don't have a pumpkin stand outside.
Yeah, I feel like they were like, hey, we're gonna start a garden this year, and then they started a garden, but the only thing that kept was the pumpkins, and they just kept growing back. So that was the only explanation I could give.
Okay, I was like, are they some kind of weird aliens that can only eat pumpkins?
Right? Yeah,
because the mom gives you total Stepford wife alien vibes the whole movie.
For sure. Yeah, the mom like creeped me out, especially in the dream, even though it wasn't
Oh,
real. Like I was so creeped out by the mom. Okay, so
oh, you don't think it was real? I think it could
I
have been.
don't know. When she gets all like weird eyes and like the claws and she starts running at him. No, I didn't think that was real. Okay, so so I did feel like the dad was trying to like incorporate him stuff and trying to make him not so much a pussy, but
Yeah, because they kill the rats
they
together,
do, yeah, they kill the rats together and it smells like cinnamon, which comes up
which there were
later.
no rats.
There were no rats, yeah. And so, okay, I'm just gonna give the secret away of what really it is and
Mhm.
everything. So we find out that the girl in the wall is really his sister, and that she was born deformed or whatever because I thought she looked like the Cheshire Cat just with long hair,
Yes.
like
Yeah, because this the whole thing. She has like Rapunzel hair that's never been washed, so it's more
yeah,
like
ew.
it's so that's where I think the cobwebby comes from because that's kind
Hmm.
of what it looks like, and
Hmm.
it's like the length of Rapunzel's, and then her eyes are. I'm assuming that her eyes are the way they are because she's been in the dark for so long.
Maybe, yeah.
Because they have that glossed over look, like animals or fish that live really deep in the ocean that never
Hmm.
see sunlight.
No, that's good.
And but the only thing I don't get, like, I get the deformity of the face because we all know these days with mutations, anything, but why were her teeth pointed? I know people have gone and had their teeth filed to be that way, but did she do that herself? I can't,
I'm
or
I'm
did she?
just I'm gonna say yes. I'm gonna say yes, she did that herself. No, I think no, I think she was born that way. And
You
that's
do.
why they put her in that little cubby hole because she was born all like gross and everything. Like she's a big freak. Um so she looked like the Cheshire Cat to me. And
Mm-hmm.
then the parents, okay, so the parents they that was their daughter and she was born all like gross looking. And so that Halloween that they talked about, the girl that went missing, the Sarah, the freak girl, she she killed that girl, and then the parents covered it up by burying her in
Buried
the
her in the
back
pumpkin
in the
patch.
pumpkin patch, and then stuck her in the attic.
Yes.
Well, first down in the basement because she was chained up in the basement
In a pit where she
in
learned
a
to
pit.
climb.
Or she learned to climb, which I just have to say right now. So the movie for me was like very like I kept going back and forth whether he was imagining everything until the very last like third act
Yeah.
when he unlocks the little cubby hole and she comes out and everything and she's all like hey 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 and I'm all like, oh,
Okay.
you fucked up, kid.
Did you think that because the movie was called Cobwebs, she was going to be like one of those babies that's born with multiple appendages? Like she was
No,
going to have multiple arms or multiple legs
no, I didn't
that
think
were
that at all.
functioning? Oh, because I was like, why are we calling this Cobwebs? Until I saw her and I was like, oh, that hair is probably why. Who knows what's living in that shit?
Right. And I love how, okay, so how he gets her out, right? He His mom makes soup and then he puts some of the rat
I
poison.
think it was supposed to be a pumpkin soup.
Was it? Okay,
I
I
don't
don't
know,
know.
but
It
it
did.
looked like shit.
That's what I thought. I was like, this is not like I thought it looked more like a bean soup, like a black bean soup or whatever. But
It looked like something I wouldn't eat.
yeah, and they were just going to town on it. They were just like, ha, 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 ha.
And
And
it
I
looked chunky. It just did not look good, guys. No.
yeah, I was like, and then and then so they're eating it, and Peter is not eating this soup whatsoever. And then the dad's all like, did you change the recipe up? And she's like, no, nope, I didn't. He's like, it tastes sweet. And then they're just like eating it. And I'm like, oh, you guys stop eating it. And he's telling Peter stop playing with his food. I'm like, yeah, Peter's not eating, you guys, which says something. And so he poisoned it with the rat poison. And then
That smelled like cinnamon.
that smelled
And
like
the
cinnamon.
dad smells the soup and goes,
It tastes like
Did you
cinnamon. Yeah.
did you
And
do something with the cinnamon or something like that? And she's like, oh yeah, there's cinnamon. And I'm like, that didn't answer his question.
yeah. So they start vomiting. Like the dad dies like first because he vomits, and then the mom comes after him with a knife, but she ends up
And
falling.
it's like alien type of vomit. It's like black
Yeah, it was so
tar.
much. Yeah, it
It's
was.
not, it's which I also that's when I was like, oh my God, is he gonna learn he's like a spider and gonna start sprouting legs or something? Because I was still
Yeah.
stuck on the name Cobwebs, but yeah.
It's okay. Yeah, but I get it. I get it. And I loved how the mom, when she falls down the stairs and she gets impaled with the knife and everything, the son goes up and she's like, Peter, don't let her out. I'm like, Peter, do not let her out. She said, don't let her out. That was her last thing she said.
That
That's
was
like
her dying wish.
which I go, that's a red flag, fucker. I was like,
She
but
could
he's
have said anything she wanted to right before she died. And she
right.
said, don't let her out. That's when you call the cops and you let them let her out.
Right. And he does let them out, which I want to talk about the third act. But first, I want to talk about Mrs. Devine, if we can, real quick, before we talk about what once he opens
She's
the door.
going above and beyond for the substitute teacher.
You think that's what I thought? I was like, this is way she's not getting paid enough for this bullshit.
No, yeah, substitute teachers make anywhere between like $75 to $125 a day.
Oh, that's how much
That's
I thought they made way less. I thought they made way less.
It's glorified babysitting is what it is.
Gotcha. Because I thought they made like 25,000 a year. I was like, 25,000 a year is not enough for this bullshit. Like she's going to his house and then she's going to save him. I'd be like, peace, Peter.
Yeah,
like,
I think if substitute teachers worked every day, yeah, they might make like $25,000 to $30,000 a year, depending on the school district. But if they're not working any day, they're probably only making like, in a full year, maybe 15, 16.
Oh, that's so little. Okay. So
I think I've had alcohol, so my numbers could be off.
Yeah. Please do not, you guys, we are not giving any advice that is credible. We're just reviewing a movie. So calm it down. Okay, I finished mine too. Look, I finished mine so fast. You finished yours so fast. Okay, so yeah, they're delicious though. Okay, so I have a backup though, so it's fine.
Me too.
Okay, so Mrs. Devine gets a call from Peter, and then she goes to his house. Now, before she gets there, Brian, that little shithole,
and
his cousins, they all show up because they're going to teach Peter.
And they're grown ass boys.
Yeah. And you see Peter, how old is Peter in this movie? Isn't he like 5 or something? No, he's like old, like 10, something like that. 10.
Yeah, he's like
10.
4th or 5th grade. Something.
Yeah, and I'm all like, time out. You showed up to this 10-year-old's house to what? Murder him because he broke your cousin's leg? Not worth it.
Cousin, which now I'm seeing where he learned the
exactly, but
and they show up in a murder van. Only they show up in a brown murder van.
Yeah, right.
Oh, you know what that means, right? They have some shitty band.
Probably.
Yeah, and that's.
But now I want to hear them just to see what they sounded like. Okay. So they go. So Peter lets the sister out. Okay, and she's like climbing the walls, which I was like, this got supernatural real fucking quick. And so
to climb the walls, not like
that, fucker. What kind of climbing were you doing?
Where you put your hands and your legs out and you.
Yeah, but this bitch was climbing like straight up on one wall by herself, and I'm all like, okay, well that's I guess cool. I guess. So then,
Peter hides from the sister.
Yeah, he hides
because he's realized she wants to kill him. She's jealous that they kept him and abandoned her into the walls.
Yeah, well, he's normal looking, ho. And so Brian and the cousins, I do not remember the cousins' names. Please do not ask me.
They were dressed like rabbits and monkeys.
Yeah. So they go in to the house because Sarah
baldy shit.
Yeah, because Sarah opens up the door. And then while they're in there, she kills them off one by one by cutting them in half. One guy she straight cut up in half. And I'm all like, maybe you should have stopped playing the piano, fucker, or bashing the piano. Because maybe
decapitates Brian.
She decapitates, which by the way, he kind of fought her off for a hot minute. And then finally it was just like he was walking down the hall, headless and everything. And then the little boy, Brian, she murders him straight up. Like she's just like, I don't care how old you are. You came to murder a 10-year-old. I'm going to murder you, 10-year-old. And
you don't make good choices.
Yeah.
That.
Yeah, it was just so crazy. Like I'm just like, man, there's a lot of hardcore shit happening to little kids in this movie.
The body count went from the dead girl in the garden to so many in a matter of minutes.
Man, a minute. Yeah, it was crazy. Although I did like it because I was like, why are you guys not sticking together? What if his parents were home, you guys? Come on. Like, what were they planning on doing? Murdering the parents?
Did they think the parents were at some kind of party? They don't strike me as the party going people.
Yeah, that's what. And let me ask you this. Let's say you went to somebody's house, okay, to I don't know, beat them up at minimum, okay, and the door opens up for willy-nilly, like freely. Would you go into the house?
No. And those guys' only response are, is this kid for real?
Yeah, and then they go in and they start wrecking stuff. Now, let me ask you this. Let's just pretend you went into the house, okay? You're just all like, I'm going to go into this house. As soon as you went in and you didn't find anybody in the house, like right off the bat, wouldn't you freaking leave because you're all like, something's going down. This is a trap. This is a trap.
Well, first of all, I wouldn't start wrecking shit because it's Halloween. People are trick-or-treating. They have neighbors. This isn't like they live on 20 acres in the middle of the woods. They live on a cul-de-sac in a neighborhood, for Pete's sakes.
Right. Yeah. No, I was just like the whole time I'm just
these
like,
are stupid criminals.
Yeah,
it's a good thing that she murdered them. She saved them from years of in and out of prison for just being dumbasses.
Yes. And then, okay, so then Peter's like hiding under his bed and
always a terrible hiding spot.
Yeah, he's a terrible. Yeah. And she like sits on the bed and of course her hair covers up the sides of the bed, and then she's all like, I was deformed as a baby.
Why does she have the voice of an 80-year-old lady who's been smoking since she was 6? Why?
Yeah. And then she talks about how they kept her in the pit in the basement, and that's where she learned to climb. And it's and to bite. And I'm all like, why bite? What's going on down there?
See, and that's why I thought she filed her teeth on her own.
I mean, that's a good point and everything. And while she's doing all this, Miss Divine shows up, right? And Sarah, the monster, she locks Peter in her old cubby hole in the attic, right? And then Miss Divine, she gets into Peter's
screaming, run.
Yeah, he's like, run. And she gets up into his room where she's able to lock the door and everything and put that thing in front of it or whatnot. And then what are you doing right now?
It's little baby hands.
Oh, gotcha. Right. I'm sorry. I thought you were like sign languaging something for me. Sorry, you guys, for those listening to the podcast. She's mimicking like fisting or something. I don't know what's going on. Okay. So then she goes up to the hole where this sounds so naughty. She goes up to the hole where Peter was talking to his sister beforehand, and he's all like, you have to get out and everything. And so then
she's all, I'm not gonna leave you. Like, this substitute teacher became super attached, super fast.
So
like
fast.
Never.
Yeah. And so she busts down that wall to get to Peter. And meanwhile, Samara is climbing through the cubbyhole and running after him. I'm like, that bitch is not that fast then, because I would have got to that hole way faster. Like, this is her territory.
Well, and that's the whole thing. And then Peter runs and grabs the key. I'm like, Peter, there's a giant hole in the wall. The key is doing nothing.
Oh no, didn't they need it to get out of the house because the door was locked?
I don't know. Did she lock it?
I thought she locked it and everything. So they got the keys and everything, and they're running everything. And she like breaks Miss Divine's leg. Wasn't it her leg or whatnot? Excuse me. And then doesn't she? I'm trying to remember. She takes him
and throws him in the pit.
In the pit, yes. And then she's like sitting there floating and shit, like ready to she's all like and like
all of a sudden her hair is tentacles.
Exactly. And then Miss Divine like grabs, like stops her from like attacking him, and then he gets out of the pit, and then they lock Sarah in the pit.
Yeah.
And then she's all like, what does she say? She's like, I'll get out, or you'll never keep me locked up forever, or something like that. I can't remember.
Yeah, and then something like that.
Yeah, she says something like how she'll eventually escape and everything.
And something about how it's in him as well, or something like that.
Yeah, like she's always gonna
one that killed the parents.
Yeah, like she's always gonna like haunt him or something like that. I can't remember exactly what she said. Anyways, so then we get him, like he's like been adopted, I think, by the teacher, right?
Yeah.
And then he's sleeping and everything, and then he has a nightmare where the Samara, the crazy girl, is standing behind him or whatnot, and she's like, ah, and everything. Overall, I really liked this movie. I thought it was super fun. It did take a twist that I wasn't expecting, like when the Samara girl. Why do I keep calling her Samara?
I don't know. It's just Sarah, but I'm letting you go with it.
I think it was just because her hair looks like the girl from The Ring when her name was Samara and everything. But I also really liked how it took like on a creature kind of aspect to it, instead of just, like it was his imagination, because that was what I thought was going to happen, was that it was going to be revealed that it was him, and he just killed his parents, and then he like killed the teacher and all these dudes and everything. And I was like, oh, that's no fun. So I was kind of happy when he didn't, when it wasn't him.
Yeah, I liked this because it kept true to the suspenseful horror of the whole thing of not letting you know if the parents are like aliens, and one parent's an alien and one parent's a human, and they had one alien baby and one human baby, and the human baby can live in the world, but the alien's locked in the wall.
Right on.
So yeah, I definitely liked it. It does, like I said, I got questions on why we're growing 9,000 pumpkins in our backyard and we're not selling them or anything. I got questions on why we have the dead girl buried in the backyard, and she wasn't even buried that deep. A freaking dog could have found her. I want to know why this teacher gets so attached within days of this kid. I want to know what the hell is wrong with these parents. They are crazy. Like the mom was creepy from the get-go. And the fact that she says she used to be a former teacher. Now I go back to what is wrong with teachers in this town.
Yeah, and she was like, I love how she was like, oh, you're imagining things. And he's like, I can hear talking in the walls. And like, she was like listening. I'm like, why are you placating this bitch? There's a person in there and you're pretending like I would just been like, oh, you're just imagining things. I'm not gonna listen right now. I'm just,
And the parents kept making the son out like he was a lunatic or he was crazy. Oh, he's got such an active imagination. He has nightmares,
Yeah, and everything. I just thought like the whole time
there was a ton of gaslighting in this movie by everybody.
So much I felt bad for that kid, and then like when he murdered his parents, I was like, I kind of don't feel bad for you anymore. You murdered your parents.
I have been grounded so many times in my life, and when these parents said that he was grounded and stuff, I was like, man, if I would have got expelled, my parents would have whooped my arse. There would have been no grounding. But then they were like, get in the basement, and I was like,
I kind of would have preferred that than a beating. I'm like he just got thrown in the basement. I was like, that looks like he got off easy to me. I mean,
but he's a kid that's scared of the dark and has nightmares. That's mental torture right there.
I mean, I guess so, but I mean,
but that's not the definition of grounded. Grounded means you're just stuck at home. You can't go nowhere or see anybody.
Yeah, a small piece of me feels like I could have handled that kind of grounding.
For sure. That's one where I was like, oh, I can lay here and take a nap. Sweet.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I was like, I don't know. I kind of feel like this kid got off easy a little bit.
Yeah. And do they not have the world's loudest dryer? Washer and dry.
Yeah. And I'm all like, the teacher was like definitely fooled a little bit. Like I was like, maybe you're not as smart as you think you are, honey.
Yeah, there were just so many little things like that throughout this whole movie that I was just like, what is happening? But I loved it. So
yeah, I really liked it too. I thought it was really good. It was really, really good. Okay, is there anything else you want to say about this movie?
Oh no, it was definitely worth the $5.99. Don't think from the beginning that I was like trying to set you up for it's not worth it. It was totally worth it. I mean, in hindsight, I probably should have just paid the $14.99 and had it, but I'm sure eventually it'll be free somewhere.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, they'll always stream it somewhere. Would you recommend this movie?
Oh, for sure. I would recommend it if you're having a Halloween like fun party for spooky season. Definitely. I would make like some popcorn and put some of those little spider rings in it. I would take it to opportunity to have some real fun. Oh, we didn't talk about the pumpkin scene. So after a pumpkin cupcake. So after he's done being grounded, mom doesn't open the door and turn on the light and say, Peter, your punishment's over. She makes him a dozen pumpkin cupcakes with the brown pumpkin faces that are really just look like really poorly made emoji faces on
Right.
orange frosting. And it's like, you're drowning. I need
And
you. You know?
yes, it was. Yeah. But I mean, like, we have to be honest. It was creepy no matter what. So,
Yeah. But I do feel like if you watched this with friends and they hadn't heard about it or seen it, you could definitely have some fun.
right on. Okay, I'm also in the same boat as you. I thought it was super fun and I really liked it a lot. And I would definitely suggest it, you guys. It was really great. And personally, I think this is one of those ones. I mean, well, I might not watch it every year for Halloween, but I'll definitely watch it. It'll be in the list of ones to watch.
And I definitely think it's a good one to watch with people who have never seen it before.
Oh, yeah. That's good.
I watched it by myself and nobody was home. And I definitely every now and then got little creepy vibes. And this is how I know they did a good job, because every now and then something would happen and my dogs would start growling at the TV.
Good. That's good. That's good. I like that. All right, Vetta, is there anything else you would like to say about this movie before we
I know
wrap
I've said
things
no
up?
twice now and kept saying stuff, but
No, it's totally cool.
No, I'm good.
Great. All right, you guys. Well, thank you so much for listening. Make sure to follow us on Twitter at BSDrunkPod to stay updated. If you listen to us on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or anywhere where you get your podcast needs, please leave us a 5-star review. We really appreciate it, and it helps us out so much, you guys. Like, you have no idea. We'll also be posting this video to our YouTube channel, so be sure to subscribe to us there at YouTube BS Drunk Movie Reviews. Also, we have started a Patreon with plenty of different levels to suit anything that interests you. That link will be in the description down below. And there's really some great stuff. Like, you can, from buying us a shot to, getting to hang out with us on and everything, buying us a drink and stuff. So, there's all that stuff. Go check it out and everything. But most importantly, don't forget to drink, recap, review, and repeat. Bye, you guys.